Good morning students, myself Manoj Chotia from Raghunath Vidyalaya, Ratangad. Today we will start a new lesson, anatomy of flowering plant. First of all, what are the flowering plant? Whenever we divided plants into two parts, the living organism is divided into two parts. First plant, second animal. Animal are those structure which have lack of cell wall around its cell, or we can say all the living beings are made up of cells. Then living beings can be divided into two parts, plant and animal, and then further plants can be divided into two parts. First flowering plant and second non-flowering plant. Non-flowering plant we study in our fourth chapter. Algae, lichen, fungi, bacteria, bryophyta, pteridophyta are the non-flowering plant. Then flowering plant can be divided also in two parts, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Flower is a sexual or a reproductive organ is found in those plants which those plants called flowering plant. Means the flower is a reproductive part, or we can define flower as the modified shoot. Modified shoot is called flower. Shoot means the aerial part of plant is called shoot, and modified shoot is called flower, in which both male and female sex organs are found. So flowering plant means the plants which have flower as a reproductive organ. Next, anatomy. What is the anatomy? In previous chapter we studied about morphology of flowering plant. Then what is morphology? Morphology is the external structure of a plant, means their shape, their size, their weight, color. Study of external characters is called morphology. And whenever we want to study internally or through inter organ or part, that is called anatomy. Means what is the anatomy? The internal study of means the study of internal structure of plant is called anatomy. Study of internal structure of plant is called anatomy, because we know that all the multicellular organism, if there may be plant or animal, they have so many cells in them. So plants have cells and organized into organ. Means the basic structural and functional unit of life is called cell. Then cells are organized into organs. Different organs in the plant show differences in their internal structure, or we can say organized into tissue. In turn of some tissue, different organs of plant differences, and tissue can be of three types, or we can say the what is tissue? Tissue is the group of cell is called tissue. Group of cell. Group of cells is called tissue, and tissue means comparison of cells. United of cell. United cells are called tissue. A tissue is a group of cell having common origin and usually performing a common function. Means ग्रुप जो परफॉर्म होता है वो किसके बेस पे होता है? कोई ना कोई तो बेस होना चाहिए. तो फर्स्ट बेस क्या हो गया? फंक्शन. सेकंड बेस क्या हो गया? स्ट्रक्चर. एंड थर्ड बेस क्या हो गया? origin. So we can say on the basis of function, structure and origin, group of cell is called tissue. A plant is made up of different kind of tissue. A plant is made up of different types of tissue. Tissue are classified into two main group. Tissues are classified into two main group, namely meristematic and permanent tissue based on whether the cells being formed are capable to divide or not. You can see properly in the chart of tissue. So this is the chart of types of tissue. Tissue means group of cell which is divided into two parts, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. What is meristematic tissue? The meristematic tissue means the group of young cells, which have the capacity of division. The group of young cells that have the capacity to active cell division is called meristematic tissue. Means they have the division of capacity of division because they have dense cytoplasm and lack of vacuole. They are living and thin walled. The vacuoles are few and small in size. The cells contain a dense protoplasm and conspicuous nucleus. The cells may be spherical, oval or polygonal in shape. They are commonly arranged and without intercellular space. The cells are immature and undifferentiated and are capable to divide independently. The plan of division may be anticlinal or periclinal or irregular. Means in short we can say that meristematic tissue means the cells of meristematic tissue have dense cytoplasm and the capacity of division. Next, permanent tissue means just adverse. Permanent tissue means they have lack of capacity of division. They have large vacuole, intracellular space are present among these cells. Now, meristematic tissue further divided into two parts, primary and secondary. Primary means the tissue which are derived directly from the meristematic of embryo. They persist throughout the life. They show their presence at the species of root and stem and primordia of leaves. They are represent the apical meristemate and intercalary meristemate and lateral meristemate. Whenever we divide or we can see the position of meristematic tissue, whenever they are found on the top of the root or stem, then it is called apical meristemate. And they primary meristematic tissue are found in 1 year or mono-year plants, and secondary meristematic tissue is found in bi-year, biennial or periannual plants. And intercalary, after this meristematic tissue, there is these cells are converted into permanent tissue. Permanent means they have lack of division or capacity to divide. Then after again, if the meristematic tissue is present, then it is called intercalary. Then after further permanent tissue, then means that meristematic tissue between two permanent tissue is called intercalary meristemate. And if the meristematic tissue found on the top of the root or stem, then it is called apical primary meristematic tissue. And these are found responsible for primary growth and found in mono-year plant. Secondary meristematic tissue are found in biennial or perennial plants, and they are found at the lateral side, means where axillary bud are performed and branches are performed, there lateral secondary meristematic tissue is found. So we can say that they are formed as a new meristematic in permanent cell by rejuvenation or redifferentiation, that is called secondary meristematic tissue. Now permanent tissue. Permanent tissue has a lack of capacity of division. Then permanent tissue are divided into two parts. Permanent tissue. Permanent tissue, the cells of permanent tissue do not generate, divide further, or if the permanent cells are further got the capacity of division, that it will be converted into intercalary meristemate. normally they have no any capacity of division, having cells similar in structure and functions called permanent tissue. Means the cells of meristematic tissues are undifferentiated, means their function is not decided. They can be converted into different types of organ, but whenever they get a particular organ's part or a particular shape and size, then they are called permanent tissue. Permanent tissue can be further divided into two parts, simple and complex. Simple means uni-defined cells. A simple tissue is made of only one type of cell. Only one type of cells are found in simple permanent tissue, and these are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. I can differentiate it both of three. These are the group of cell which can be called parenchyma, means they have intercellular space. These are the intercellular space. Intercellular space means the space found between the two adjacent cell, or we can say they have intercellular space and they are just converting from embryo, so they have some cytoplasm in it. Then collenchyma, whenever these intercellular space is fulfilled by cellulose, pectin, hemicellulose, lignin are deposited on the corners of the cells, then and the cytoplasm is also reducing, then they are called collenchyma. Then sclerenchyma, whenever the deposition of cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin in a layer between these two group of cells, or from this side they can deposit it, then this tissue collenchyma is converted into sclerenchyma when cellulose, lignin, hemicellulose, pectin are deposited on the cells of parenchyma and after collenchyma, so they are converted into sclerenchyma. Now complex tissue. Complex tissue, simple tissue means they are made up of only one type of cell, means simple tissue is made up of only one type of cell. Whenever more than one type of cells are performed to making any tissue, then it is called complex tissue, means their cell have lack of division of capacity, and the complex tissue are made up of more than one type of cells, and these work together as a unit. Xylem and phloem are the example of complex tissue, and xylem is also made up of by four type of tissue, and phloem is also made up of from four types of tissue. Just like xylem, you have to remember trachea, vessels, fiber, parenchyma. The fiber which is present in xylem are called xylem fiber, and parenchyma which is present in xylem are called xylem parenchyma, because both these cells are present xylem and in phloem. So whenever they are present in phloem, then it is called phloem fiber, and then phloem parenchyma. And phloem has two another cells also, sieve tube and companion cell. So this is one outer diagram of types of tissues. Now in next video we will discuss about in detail these tissues. Thank you for today's class.